Hey everyone, today we're going to be checking out the Everyday Workpack from Kuro. I first came across this bag while scrolling through Instagram and I immediately had to stop when I saw the style and the features that this had to offer. It just seemed like the type of bag that I would normally really enjoy using as far as the layout. And I thought that it was really cool that it also incorporated a pouch into kind of a two-in-one system. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to test this over the past couple of weeks. I'll show you how I've loaded it out, walk through all the features, and I'll also talk about how it compares to some of the other similar bags that are currently on the market. Before jumping into the video, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel, we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you'd like these types of videos and be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, to me the appearance feels like a more stylish take on kind of a classic day pack, almost like a Herschel bag crossed with a Bellroy bag. And so I think that it's a really cool mixture. I've always been a fan of this sort of silhouette, and I think that it's gonna work well in a lot of different environments. Definitely the type of thing that I could see myself taking into the office, but also using for traveling or just exploring the city. As far as the materials, the bag feels solidly built. The exterior fabric is a 600D polyester that feels like it's going to offer a nice amount of durability, and it also has a water repellent finish to help keep your gear protected from the elements. I've had good experiences with this type of fabric in the past. I like that it's not super rigid, so it'll allow it to mold around the items that are on the inside, and it's also going to help keep the weight of the bag down. This does come in at a little under 3 pounds, which is nice to see considering the size and the features that it offers. And the fabric also has an interesting texture, which does kind of contribute to the appearance. It feels kind of like a matte black or a grayish color, but the texture will also just kind of give it a very distinct look. And I would have liked to have seen maybe a ballistic nylon or ripstop nylon version of the bag available as well, as I just tend to prefer that fabric a little bit more. It gives me some extra peace of mind, but for the most part, this has felt really nice. And you also have the very smooth working YKK zippers all throughout. Continuing along the outside of the bag, I was happy to see that you have 2 external water bottle pockets that are going to offer a nice amount of capacity. These have plenty of elasticity. I was easily able to store my 26-ounce Yeti Rambler, and so great that you have one of these on each side. It's got a pretty decent amount of height, comes out a decent amount, and then when you're not using the pockets, that elasticity just keeps them close to the bag to maintain a cleaner look. And then at the top, you have a great carrying handle. This comes up a decent amount, so it's very easy to grab. And then you have a nice kind of seatbelt-like material here. And on the front, you have the Kuro logo, which is pretty subtle. It kind of blends in here down to the bottom in the center. And then the last thing I'll mention while we're talking about the exterior is that this bag does manage to stand up quite well on its own. The bottom is pretty wide, which is going to provide a stable base so that you can place it down next to you, access all the pockets, and not have to worry about it tipping over when the bag is packed out. Moving into the capacity, this comes in at about 26 liters, which is a really versatile size in my opinion. It feels like a lot of new bags are coming out in this size range because it can work well for your day-to-day. It can still give you some extra space if you want to use it for longer days or minimal travel. This one does tend to stick out a little bit more when it's completely packed out. That's part of what helps it stand out so well, is that wider bottom that kind of comes out, but it also makes the bag a little bit chunkier when you're walking around. And so that's just something that you'll have to kind of manage. In general, it hasn't felt uncomfortable. It just reminds me a little bit more of my days when I was in school, but I think that it's still very versatile and it's gonna work well in a variety of environments and also for carrying onto many different domestic and international airlines. Continuing with the harness system, so far the bag has been really comfortable to wear. I like how the straps have been implemented here. They have a nice amount of padding that feels really cushioned and soft right out of the box. I wish they were maybe a little bit more rigid, but in general, they've been really comfortable to wear even over a longer period of time. You have a nice breathable material to help prevent moisture from building up and a good width to help prevent the bag from digging into your shoulders when it's a little bit more packed out. One thing to note here is that you don't have a sternum strap included with the bag or really the ability to add one, which to me isn't really a big deal. I don't use it that much on a bag of this size, but it can get fairly heavy as you really load this out. And so some people might notice that, but for me, it hasn't been an issue. And then on the back, you also have a nice amount of padding. This has felt quite comfortable, well distributed. You have a nice amount of elevation here to create this air channel to provide you with airflow while you're walking around. And you also have a luggage pass-through that's going to allow you to rest this on your suitcase while traveling. I like the orientation here to make it easy to get to your laptop. And then you have a hidden zippered compartment here on the back that also has a little lanyard with a clip where you can store maybe a house key or something. I wouldn't want to put anything super bulky here so that I don't feel it pressing up against my back, but still nice to have a compartment like that. You could also potentially use it to store something smaller that's not a key. Jumping into the organizational options, you have a zippered quick access pocket on the front. This is going to offer a decent amount of space for the items that you might be grabbing more regularly throughout the day. I like that it can handle something that's a little bit bulkier. Here I have a wired mouse, as well as the charging cables for my laptop and other devices with my USB-C hub. So all of those things are, fairly thick, and even though the main compartment is full, I was still able to use this pretty comfortably without feeling like the items were really pressing up against the bag. And then at the top, you have another great quick access pocket that is also meant to store the tech pouch accessory that's included with the bag. And so the implementation here is really interesting. The idea is that you place the pouch inside of the bag, unzipped, as you see it here. It has magnetic attachment points that pair with the sides of the bag, so it kind of keeps it in place and provides built-in organization, or technically built-in when it's secured with its magnet. And so this sort of mimics the tech compartments that we've seen on recent releases, where you have these accordion layouts that are built into the bag. And so that's sort of what it feels like this is trying to do here. And so you actually have a nice layout in this pouch. This is a type of pouch that I normally like to use, but what makes it cool is that you can actually separate it and take it out. And so that's where this bag now becomes a modular setup, a two-in-one system, you can say. And so this tech pouch accessory is actually really nice. I like the style here. It of course matches the bag. It looks like a modern slim tech pouch. I like that it's not super rigid. So whether you're using it with the bag in this system or on its own, this is a really solid accessory. You can attach a strap to the outside and convert it into a sling bag. And this strap is great. It's got a nice length. The buckles here are also very premium and secure feeling, and so easy to convert this into a sling bag if you want to use it that way. I believe that it's about 2.5 liters, so very, very great daily kind of sling bag size. And then as a tech pouch, it also has the layout that you would want to see. A quick access pocket on the front for smaller accessories, and then a wide opening, which is how you pair it inside of the bag to be able to access it. And you have, your two kind of segmented areas here, a zippered compartment in the middle that's going to be good for smaller items. I have a wired set of headphones, some extra cables, and then on one side you have some really nice slip pockets where I have a USB-C cable and my portable hard drive. Both of those fit in there comfortably. And then the other one, I just tossed in a charging cable for my phone, as well as my AirPods and my Apple Magic Mouse. I could have also tossed in my laptop charger into one of these sections. And so that's what I really like about this type of pouch, is the flexibility. It doesn't go overboard with the organization, so just very, very functional. And then one of the cool things that I realized while I was using this is that oftentimes if I have some of my tech items in a backpack and I place the bag down next to me, I'm reaching down to grab it. And so in this case, like I would do with other tech pouches, you can just kind of pull it out. And so it's just something that's a little bit more integrated. It's still, not that different from, a combination of tech pouch and backpack like you might see, on the market. But I think that going that extra step to just kind of, have it be a little more integrated and thought through feels really nice. And then of course, the fact that you can remove it and you're just left with this really cool compartment. I think this compartment on its own is actually cooler because I haven't really seen something like this where the compartment is this deep from the top. And so I've seen in some of the promotional videos that this has been used to separate out, lunches, to keep stuff, away from the items in the main area. This looks like a great spot to put some over-ear headphones, to put a smaller drone. So because of the space that's offered here, you have a lot of flexibility if you're traveling. Definitely a great spot for liquids, for a toiletry bag. And so really, really a big fan of the fact that you have that. You can pair with the pouch, or you can just toss the pouch on the inside of the bag. I think it's gonna work just as good that way. And as a sling bag, I don't use slings that much, but this is the type of thing that if I was traveling with this bag and I wanted to leave the bag at home, I would be comfortable using this sling bag just to carry a couple of things that don't fit in my pockets. And then moving to the back of the bag, you have a dedicated laptop compartment, and you have dual zipper pulls here. And on the inside, you have some built-in organization, which is nice. A couple of slip pockets on the front for something like a portable battery, a mouse. You have a slot here in the middle that's sized to hold an AirTag, a place for a pen, a stylus, and then another slip pocket next to that. And then you have a padded tablet sleeve. So really great that you actually have a dedicated tablet sleeve, not just a simple slip pocket. This actually feels a little bit more protective. I currently have my iPad mini in here, but this could hold something a little bit larger. And then on the back, you have the actual laptop sleeve, which also offers a nice amount of protection. So this offers good padding. It comes up a decent amount, so it'll be able to handle 15 or 16-inch laptop comfortably, maybe a 17-inch laptop. And currently I have my 14-inch MacBook Pro. You do have some padding at the bottom. There is a very slight gap when the bag is completely packed out, but I have noticed that when I place my laptop in, you can kind of feel it reaching the bottom, but there is some padding, so it feels protected. I just wish that it had been pulled up a little bit more to create a more true false bottom. And I like how easy it is to get my device in and out of the compartment, especially when paired with the luggage pass-through. This orientation makes a lot of sense. And now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. Because this comes up so much, this would be good for a thicker laptop, or if you want to use a case with your device to give yourself some extra peace of mind, it'll be able to handle that as well. And then moving into the main compartment, you have a clamshell style opening, which is another interesting aspect of the bag. Usually with this sort of style, I kind of associate it with top loading bags. And so great to see that you have the added flexibility of being able to open this up all the way. And then you can see the open kind of bucket of space here. Again, 26 liters of capacity. This was able to handle the typical items that I would have with me. And so I have a packable rain jacket here at the top, packable tote bag from Peak Design, my Beats Studio wireless headphones, AirTech pouch, and then a couple of pouches from Evergoods, the 1/2 liter, 1 liter, and 2 liter. All of those fit in there comfortably. And now with the compartment empty, you can get a better look at the inside. I like that this has a light lining to provide better visibility. And this is a layout that's gonna be interesting. So now with this empty, you can see that this top quick access pocket pokes into this area quite a bit. And so depending on how you load everything out, this could take up some of the space. And that's always one of the trade-offs that you might have to deal with this type of pocket. And so I think that it's worthwhile to have the added flexibility, but it could depend on your packing style and the types of things that you're carrying, how this actually impacts it. Because I use cubes, I can kind of pack around it. There's still plenty of space here for a variety of different types of cubes. And this is a layout that I could still see myself using for minimal travel. If I wanted to use it for a longer weekend trip, could definitely organize with the space that's offered here. And this does kind of collapse down if you want to take full advantage of the space, but it's slightly padded as well. So again, those are sort of the trade-offs to consider with a unique layout like this. But for me, it struck a good balance. And then on the lid, you have some additional organizational options, just a couple of zippered pockets, one at the bottom, which I didn't really use because all of my stuff is in the pouches here. So I normally don't use this pocket in most bags. And then above that, this pocket has a nice soft lining, so it's gonna be a good spot for something that's a little bit more delicate, like sunglasses. I just have my case in there to kind of showcase that it could hold something a little bulkier, but with the material here, this would be great for storing a phone, sunglasses, and I like that it offers a good amount of capacity. So overall, I really like the layout that's been provided in this main area and throughout the rest of the bag. Just so many things here that have been great to use as I've gone about my day-to-day. I really like the space, how well it stands up on its own, the water bottle pockets. And so if you're looking for a functional and stylish kind of all-purpose bag, I think this is gonna be a really cool option to take a look at. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the Everyday Workpack over the past couple of weeks. You can currently purchase this on the company's site. It's gonna come in at around $175, so definitely not cheap. It does feel like you're getting a really nice feature set and style, and it's also a nice bonus that the tech pouch accessory is actually included with the bag, so it does feel like you get a lot of value for the price, but there's gonna be some other great bags in this price range that may be worth considering. And so as I was testing this out, the first bag this made me think of is the City Pack from Baboon to the Moon. That's another bag that has a really classic kind of day bag style that works well in a lot of different situations. It's got an excellent build quality with the ballistic nylon exterior, really comfortable harness system. You have a luggage pass-through, dedicated laptop compartment that is padded, suspended. It's got a top loading layout with some good built-in organization on the inside. You have dual external compartments to hold a water bottle, some quick access pockets, and so it checks off a lot of the boxes that I'm normally looking for. And if you're interested in a bag that has that sort of old school style with some modern features, and that's gonna be a great one to take a look at. The next bag this made me think of is the Moment Everything backpack. That comes in a couple of different sizes, but the one that I've really enjoyed using is the 21 liter size, as it just works so well for daily use. It's able to hold a good amount without feeling super big. It's got a pretty simple layout, but you still get some quick access pockets, a water bottle pocket, a dedicated laptop area. And then Moment's approach to, kind of a modular ecosystem is similar to what I think Kuro does with their bag, as far as offering really useful pouches and accessories that you can add to the bag, but don't, necessarily force you to organize in a particular way. And so I think that's a great approach. And the style of the bag is super minimal. I like the nylon material that's used on the exterior. It's got a comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through, and so if you're looking for a bag that's gonna offer similar benefits to this one here, but it's just gonna have a different layout and ecosystem, that's gonna be an excellent option to consider. Another bag this made me think of is the Filson Dryden backpack. That one also has kind of a classic backpack layout, but with a more heritage vibe. It still has a durable ballistic nylon exterior, comfortable harness system, a great luggage pass-through, external water bottle pockets. It's got a spacious main compartment, some quick access pockets, and so, it just really does a great job of doing the basics well. And, it just has that classic styling. So if you're looking for something that's got a similar layout to this, but just feels more kind of old school and outdoorsy, then that's gonna be a great one to keep in mind. And then the last option that I'll mention here, if you have a little bit of a higher budget, is the Panda Pack 2 from Pioneer Carry. I've talked about that bag quite a bit, as it has one of my favorite organizational layouts. I really like the quick access pockets on the front. They just have tons of volume, super flexible with what they can hold. You have good side pockets. The bag is gonna offer a clamshell style layout like this one. It's got a dedicated laptop compartment with a suspended sleeve on the new version, comfortable harness system, luggage pass-through. It stands up well on its own. And I really like the kind of modern style that it offers. It feels like something that's gonna be great for work travel. It's got a little bit of that to me vibe. Excellent build quality, and so if you're looking for something very rugged with an excellent layout, then that's gonna be a great option to take a look at. With that being said, the Everyday Workpack holds up very well against all those options. It's been really great to use overall. I think that they really did a great job on the fundamentals, and then you get the bonus of having the additional accessory that you can use with the bag or just leave it at home. And the bag itself does an excellent job, as I talked about during the video. And if you're looking for something that's gonna have a very functional layout, that's gonna be comfortable to wear, this is gonna be a really great option to take a look at. And I'm definitely curious to hear what you all think of the Everyday Workpack and how it compares to some of the other popular tech and EDC bags that are currently on the market. And if there's any similar options that you think that I should check out, as always, please let me know in the comments. And I wanna thank the company for sending the bag for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.